All right, y'all. So welcome to another call. So we had a couple of things happen over the last, 2 weeks, week and a half. We made some moves. We started doing some things and you got a little taste of rejection. So I want to talk about that in particular today. And then I want to talk about some ways to start finding more deals. All right. I'm going to do a deep dive into finding deals because I think, well, not that I think, but I know that's the lifeblood of the business. If you know how to find deals, then the one rejection you receive this week is not going to matter at any point in time because you're going to be used to rejection because you'll realize that it's going to take you 15 to 25 offers to get one deal. It's not like that all the time. But you got to understand that this is definitely a numbers game. When I say it's not like that all the time, I'll give you an example. I just had a student who made 3 offers and he got 2 deals out of the 3 offers. Right. So you just have to realize that it truly is a numbers game. All right. So his situation is different than your situation. Your circumstances are not the same as his. So his approach that we took in the business is different. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. Since y'all are young, I'm trying to keep it to where you understand every aspect of the business and you understand that marketing is going to play a major part in your business. Without marketing, you can't have a business, right? His approach was different because he has access to a lot more money. He has access to be able to go out there and secure the funding in order to be able to close these deals a lot quicker. So I want to talk to y'all about that because I'm not sure what y'all situation is in that regard. As a team, he had money and good credit, so obviously it'll speed up the process for him. I know Zadik has fairly good credit as well. I think you said you were in the 700s or something like that, right? And to be your age, when I was your age, I had a 500 credit score because when I enrolled in college, you start getting credit card offers, and I didn't know how credit worked, so I blew my credit back then, but I fixed it. So if collectively y'all have decent credit, then we can use that. We can leverage the credit to be able to speed things up for you. I can help you get secure credit lines. I can help you start building business credit and things like that, which you should be anyway. And we probably need to have that discussion today as well. And then in addition to that, I want to talk about some things that you need to be doing consistently in order to get deals consistently. All right. So let's jump into this. So what did y'all learn this week in regards to the property that you went to go see?
I realized that people try to play like games.
Yeah. So we had comparable sales on that property, right? I saw comps between $80,000 and $120,000, right? And for those of you watching this right now, just to bring you up to speed, if you watched the last video that we did together, we actually found the property. We contacted a realtor. It wasn't an off-market deal. It was an on-market deal listed with a realtor. And we contacted a realtor. It was sitting on the market for a while. By the time the team went out and saw the property, they dropped the price another $5,000. It was basically a great deal. Prematurely looking at the numbers, it definitely made sense to go out and see that property. So we had comps between $80,000 and $120,000. This was a 2-unit property. We saw 2 and 3 unit properties going for about the 120 range. But when we did some deep dive, when we did some deep diving into the numbers, we found out the property is probably worth $80,000 to $100,000. Right now, the problem is The team went out to go look at the house, and it needed a tremendous amount of work. Now we were right on the money just looking at the pictures. I said it was going to need what, about $50,000 in work anyway, right?
Yeah,
I said that. So when the contractor went out, the contractor confirmed my numbers and said that it's going to need about $50,000 in work. So we were planning on making an offer for $20,000, even though they were asking $55,000. And that's a lesson for everybody watching this and for y'all as well. The asking price doesn't mean anything ever, right? What matters is what you're willing to pay for it. So same thing when you have a deal, your asking price is just your asking price. The real value of the property is what somebody's willing to pay for it. Okay. So that property to me was worth $20,000. It was worth more, but I wanted y'all to make like 10 or 15,000 bucks, right? You could have got it for like 35, but I wanted y'all to make a wholesale fee of $10 to $15,000. So we saw that the value was probably around 100 grand. We multiply that number by 70 cents on a dollar. We subtracted the $50,000 in repairs. We actually worked our numbers off of 120, not 100. And we came up with a $20,000 offer. When we made the offer, what happened, everybody?
he rejected it immediately.
Yeah, they rejected it. But then what did they say after that? So just keep in mind, nobody was looking at this house, right? It was on the market for how long was it on the market?
Over a month.
Yeah.
It was on the market for a while, right? Nobody's looking at it. As soon as we made an offer on that house, what did they say?
That they already had someone that offered.
They had somebody that offered $47,000,
$47,000,
right? Because if somebody offered $47,000 and the asking price is $49,000, why didn't they take the $47,000, right? So what I would do under these circumstances, I would wait 3 to 4 weeks and follow up with that realtor to see if that house ever sold. See if it's still listed on the market in 3 to 4 weeks.
He mentioned that he would keep it on the market. I mean, he was going to take it off the market and then repost it after a year, after re-renovating and stuff.
After renovating himself. So this is the realtor who was speaking for the seller then, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's what y'all do. All right, since the seller is pulling this lead off the market, here's what I want y'all to do, because this is a hot lead still. All right, I want y'all to contact the seller direct. Wait for the house to come off the market so you're not violating any agreements or anything like that with a realtor.
He pulled it off the day we went to go see it.
All right, so it's off market right now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I want y'all to skip trace that number. Find out who owns that house. I showed you how to skip trace already, Zadi.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Skip trace and find out who owns that house. Get his contact phone number, and who was in charge of making phone calls. I think it was Ishmael.
Yeah, it was me.
Contact that seller and let him know that you're interested in purchasing that house. You saw that he pulled it off the market, but you're interested. And if he's willing to be flexible on his price, then we can make something happen. If he's not willing to be that flexible, you could pay the $45,000. Don't ever mention 47 or 50 or anything like that. Say, I can pay $45,000 if you're willing to do seller financing. Right? Because then it doesn't matter. You get a creative deal at that point. Right? Then you can turn around and you could have options at that point. You can keep the property. Y'all can split the payment, right? And I'll help you structure the right deal. Try to get a 0% interest, as close to zero as possible, right? Y'all gonna have to split a monthly payment because you're gonna have to fix the property up. Once you own the property, it's easier to get the money to fix it up than to purchase the property and have to put the money into it. It's easier to refinance a house than it is to purchase a house. Okay. So I can show y'all how to do that. Another option, which I'm probably going to gear it towards let's just talk about it like this. So another option is this. What I would want y'all to do is make quick money, wholesale the seller finance deal. If you could get seller finance and we could secure it, I can talk to the seller. I want y'all to learn, but sometimes you need to hear me or you need to learn how to do it. We can all have a conversation, a conference call with the seller. I'll get on the phone for y'all and talk to him and convince him. All you need to do is secure the idea that they're willing to do seller financing or at least take a lower price than that $47,000. If you can secure that idea in the seller's mind, solidify that idea in the seller's mind, then I'll get on the phone and I'll make the magic work. All right. So what I would prefer to happen is the seller accepts seller financing, because then what we can do is we can sell seller financing. We can wholesale those terms for a profit. So how would we do that? Let's say you were to secure seller financing for $45,000. You tell any investor, I guarantee you, including me, I might be the one to purchase it from you. Hey, I want $60,000. The house needs $50,000 in work, but I'm willing to hold the paper. I'm willing to hold seller financing for you on the 50. So I'll assign my seller financed agreement over to you for a profit. Anybody's going to take that deal because they don't have to come out of their pocket with $110,000. They can just come out of their pocket with 50 or 60 to fix the property up and make the monthly payments on the other mortgage that's owed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would probably buy that from you. I'll give you $15,000 in cash and I'll just take over the payments and put my own money into the deal. Right. If not, then we could wholesale it to somebody else, but that's an easy way for you to get a good deal while paying close to what the seller is asking, especially on a property that's in that bad of a condition. So first things first, I want y'all to secure that. I want you to plant it in the seller's head, the idea of seller finance. And if they're willing to do that, just tell them, look, he said he's going to take it off the market for a year, right? Tell them to seller finance the house for a year. Tell them you'll amortize it over 30 years to keep the payments low. You'll balloon the payment out in 12 months. All right. Mm-hmm. And I can do that part. I can explain all of that, but if you can just tell the seller that, just be like, look, we see that you wanted to pull the house off the market. I believe it was for a year. We're still willing to purchase it. If you're willing to do seller financing over the course of a year, we'll make you 12 monthly payments, amortize it over, a certain period of time, but then we'll offer a lump sum payment at the end of the 12 months. And what this allows you to do is make small monthly, basically the seller is becoming a private lender at that point, right? Because then what's happening is you're able to secure a deal, make small monthly payments to the seller. Let's say on $50,000, let's just say it's, $200 to $500 a month. And then you can secure the idea of someone else purchasing that seller finance deal from you. They'll make the monthly payments. They'll balloon it out. They'll refi, cash out. They'll do all of that stuff later on when it's that time, or it'll be me, right? But I just want you to plant that seed and then let me know how you make out from there, because we can still make that deal work. So I want you to understand. I want y'all to learn something from this. No lead is dead until it's all the way dead, right? The only time a lead is dead is when the seller dies or they sell the house. If those two events haven't taken place, you still have yourself something to work with. All right. You can make a deal out of thin air if you learn how to be creative. Right. So I want y'all to learn how to open up your mind and think outside the box. I just came up with that solution just now. right? That was a solution. What did I tell you before? We're problem solvers, right? We solve problems. So what's the problem? How can we solve the problem creatively and still be able to benefit from it as as a team collectively? That's what we're doing. All right. So that lead is not dead. We're gonna rock with that and see where we could go with that one. So again, I'm glad that y'all learned that realtors, even homeowners, property owners, they'll play games just to try to ramp. I guarantee you, the realtor probably said we have 47 on a plate just to get you to come up off of that $20,000 price point. But then the seller decided to pull it off the market anyway, right? And the seller probably thought, just let's give the realtor the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that the seller said, hey, for 20 grand, I might as well fix the property up myself and sell it for market value. Now, anything can happen in the market in a year from now, right? But, for the most part, at least you had the experience of making your first offer. It was rejected. That's fine. But now we're backdooring to see what else we could pull out of this deal. All right. So how can you go out, and I'm segueing into the second part of the call. How can you go out and really find a bunch of leads that you can make a bunch of offers on, get a bunch of rejections? Remember I said go for no? Remember I said that before, go for no? Get a bunch of rejections with the intent of getting deals. So a couple of things I want y'all to do. So Zadik, you got access to my software, right? I showed you how to pull leads. Did you ever pull those leads? You should have those leads, as a matter of fact. If not, all right. So I want y'all to start there. All right. Start with pulling, you have the leads. You don't even have to pull the leads. Skip trace the leads. It'll cost y'all collectively probably $50. So $10 a piece. All right. How many of y'all? 1, 2, 3, 4. What was that? $12.50 a piece. Right. Skip trace. It might not even cost that much, but skip trace the leads so you can get the contact information for the sellers. And what I want y'all to do is 2 things y'all could do. I want you to start with 1,000 leads, 1,000 property records. All right. If y'all can collectively come up with some money, maybe like $250, y'all can send out postcards to the sellers to get your phone ringing. Right. If that's not the case, y'all got to sit and cold call. So you're going to have to do 250 calls a piece. You know what I mean? To make the game plan easy, what I would recommend first and foremost is finding out if y'all can come up with the money. If not, then how much time can y'all put into it? I would recommend y'all do both, but which one is easier for y'all to start with? You tell me.
Right now, all I got is time.
You got time. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So since you have time, let's assume everybody just has time. Okay. So Zadik, I want you to pull the leads, and I want you, remember I told you I want y'all making phone calls together. Y'all find a way to get together and bang those calls out within a week. I want y'all to call 1,000 people in 1 week. All right. If y'all call 50 people a day each, that's 250 people in 1 day. It's 50 phone calls each. If y'all do that over the course of a week, 4 days, y'all be done with 1,000 leads in 4 days. And the 5th day could be a bonus if you weren't able to really get anybody. But that's the first assignment. All right. Now, just so y'all know, what y'all doing is called cold calling. All right. You got access to all my scripts and everything, right, Zadik?
I sent that over to them.
All right. Perfect. So everybody, y'all should role play first for like a day. Matter of fact, I want it done in 5 days, right? So by next Friday, I want it done. Use one of the days to role play. Y'all should take at least 2 hours to do that. And challenge each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it hard. All right. And then the next day, get on the phone and expect to make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be super professional. Be yourself. People buy you. They don't buy what you're selling. They buy you, right? So if your personality and their personality, y'all all know how to talk to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had conversations in your life. Just be yourself, right? And y'all made friends in your life, right? If you be and you made friends because you were being yourself. If you just be yourself, you'll be fine. All right. Follow the script. The script, it makes it easy for you. You know what questions to get out of the seller. Y'all look, y'all spoke to some realtors. Y'all went and saw a property. Y'all made offers. Y'all had contractors go to the house to give you a contractor's estimate all within the last week and a half. There's no reason you can't do this. And this is the easy part. Well, this is the hardest part of the business, but it's going to be easy to talk to sellers. If y'all can make this the easiest part of the business, you'll have a multi-million-dollar business because you understand the value of lead generation. All right. You understand the value of talking to people consistently in order to get deals. So if y'all could call 1,000 people a week, I guarantee you within the next 4 weeks, you're going to have some deals. Come on, it's 4 of y'all. If y'all just call 50 people a day each, 50 people a day each. 50 people.
Now we got it.
Take you
that's like
take you an hour. Right?
Mm-hmm.
50 people a day each. Y'all gonna have some money coming in. I'm telling you. And you want to be consistent with it. If you just take an hour each and y'all just bang it out, and y'all do it every day, 4 days a week. If y'all do it for 5 days, it's even better. But just remember, it's a numbers game. All right. So just so y'all know what we're focusing on are vacant properties. This is the leads that I pull for Zadig. So whenever y'all pulling leads, this is the lead source that I want y'all to focus on, because to me, so there's two forms of marketing, two forms of leads. You have broad leads and you have narrow leads, right? Who could tell me what a broad lead is?
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, you could take a guess.
Is it like I don't know how to like really put it in the words, but like the word broad, like, you know what it means?
Yeah.
Is it just like a broad, like basically what it says?
Yeah. So it's broad, right? That's exactly what it is. So that means you have a variety of leads, and then you got narrow marketing. Narrow, who could tell me what narrow marketing is?
Limited.
You said limited? That's a good way to think about it. So narrow means more targeted, right? You got broad and then you got targeted.
More targeted, okay.
In the beginning, I want y'all to start on more targeted leads. And then as you exhaust your lead sources, let's say we do vacant properties, we do foreclosures, we do divorce, we do probates, we do, all these different lead tax liens and stuff like that. Those are more narrow. And then as you broaden out, you start focusing on absentees. You start focusing on for sale by owners. Those are more broad because you don't know what, you understand what I mean? You don't know what type of lead it is. So an absentee owner doesn't wake up in the morning saying, hey, I want to sell my house today. Not all of them at least. A vacant property owner is different than an absentee owner. A vacant property owner is not bringing an income on that house because it's vacant. An absentee property owner could have a property that's rented, so it's bringing in money. So they're not really having that issue of, hey, I want to sell because this thing is costing me money. Mm-hmm. So an absentee can be more of a long-term relationship that you have to build. A vacant property owner could be more short-term. Tax liens could be more short-term. Those are all narrow leads, right? So as you grow and exhaust your lead sources, you want to get broader and broader. You start narrow, you start with the small hole, and it gets wider and wider and wider over time. You know what I'm saying? That's how you want to do that. So we're going to start with a combo of vacant properties, which can be, to me, we can go even more narrow than vacant. We could do vacant properties with code violations. We could do vacant property with a foreclosure attached to it. We're just going to start with vacant properties, and we're going to pull a list. I think we already did the list, but these property owners own the property for at least 10 years. That means that they have some equity built up in the house, right? You got 10 years worth of payments. You paid off a third of the house, right? And the property was built 30 years ago or before. So 1992 or before. That means the property, chances are, is going to need. Why do we want to focus on houses that's at least 30 years old? Who could tell me?
It needs modernized.
Say that again.
Go ahead, Tom.
I said it needed modernized.
It needs some work. It need to be renovated. Chances are it needs to be renovated. So if a house is 30 years old, most property owners are not going to have the money to keep the property up unless they have a real good job, right? So you got a vacant property, somebody that owned it for at least 10 years, and the house is at least 30 years old. That house that's 30 years old is going to need more work than a house that's 5 years old. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna focus on that on the areas where we're gonna focus on all of Harrisburg. We're gonna go broad in that respect to where we don't want to narrow it down to a specific area right now. All right. So you got properties with equity that are vacant and probably need some work. We increase our chances of a property needing some work by going for older homes. All right. So whenever y'all pulling leads, always start off with something like that. And then you can always tack on foreclosures. You can always tack on tax liens and attach. That's called list stacking, where you have a vacant property that has a foreclosure attached to it. That also has a code violation attached. That's called list stacking. And you just narrow the list down even more. But we're trying to get at least the more narrow you go, the less leads you're going to have available. So we're trying to get as many leads as possible. So we're going to start with just vacant properties, go broad with that, and pull at least 1,000. Now you have the list already, Zadik. I want y'all to bang out these calls, and let's talk again on Friday to see what progress y'all made. Any questions for me?
No, I'm good.
We're good. All right, so y'all excited for this week?
Yeah.
So this is how you create your own leads, right? You don't have to go to a realtor all the time, even though keep the realtors in your back burner. Keep building those relationships. Keep the contractors in the on the team in the back burner as well. But this is how you find your leads. All right. So don't be surprised if y'all get a deal this week. You're calling 1,000 people. Don't be surprised you get a deal. You might have to call more to get a deal, but just put it in your mind. Let's go for a deal this week. All right. Once you get a hot lead, I want y'all to bring all your hot leads. If you get one on the first day, just text me and say, hey, we need to jump on the phone again. You know what I mean? Because then I'm going to show you how to structure the deal. You just got to bring me the basic information. We're going to look at what the seller is telling you. And then I'm going to show you how to create something out of, how to solve the seller's problem right off the bat. All right.
Sounds good. We're going for more than a one lead. I mean, we're going for more than one deal.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of, that's what I'm talking about.
One each at least.
One each. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, y'all. 5 deals this week. Let's make it a goal. Let's get
5 deals.
And let's make this happen, y'all. But I'll talk to y'all on the next one.
It's 4 of us.
All right.
Yeah, 4 y'all. I'm looking at 5. I'm looking at 5 right here.
5's cool too. 5's cool too.
Yeah, we can go for 5. We can go for 5.
So 4 deals this week. I'm looking at 5 images on the screen. One of them is me. But look, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all got any questions before we jump off?
No, I'm all good.
No, sir.
All right, cool. So let's get to work. Let's get to the bag. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Later.
you.
Thank you.